Good evening. It's 6 o'clock and it's Saturday, the 4th of November, and welcome to our Saturday evening news programme coming to you from the heart of Wyke Regis and across Dorset. And of course across the rest of the country. People will be remembering all those who have died in the Two World Wars and other conflicts on Remembrance Day, which is next Saturday, I believe, and Remembrance Sunday next Sunday. A service will take place at 10:40 a.m. on Saturday at the memorial area at County Hall, Dorchester, and on Sunday there will be various memorial services around the whole of south of Dorset. And to mention a few, Dorchester War Memorial, Weymouth Seafront War Memorial and Wyke Regis War Memorial will all have acts of remembrance at 11 a.m. with services starting a short while before that. Now, plans are progressing for the development of the old Methodist Church in Weymouth Town Centre, with the possibility of construction being completed during 2025. The site of the Grade 2 listed former Methodist Church in Maiden Street, Weymouth, was destroyed by fire more than 20 years ago and has remained as a ruin ever since. The development, to be known as Evolution Weymouth, will consist of 24 apartments and will be undertaken by Cranbourne Group from Oxford. The interior will effectively be a new build of modern apartments within the outer envelope of the old building, and the large rose window that the building was famous for when it was active will be rebuilt and restored, and you can see an artist's impression there on the screen next door to an original black and white photo. There remains the contentious issue of parking, with no parking being provided as part of the scheme, but the scheme will rely on on-street parking and resident permits for the parking bays around the town. There will be some disruption during the build, which will require the siting of a large crane, which will cause disruption on some of the surrounding streets during the construction phase. Agents Goseby of Weymouth, who are selling or looking to sell the 24 apartments, have said there is already a lot of interest in the site from locals and others, with its modern appeal and harbourside location. There's also going to be an on-site gym for residents, so if keeping fit is your thing and you want an apartment by the harbourside in Weymouth, then maybe this is worth looking at, particularly if you haven't got a car. The Dorset Community Fund is launching its annual Surviving Winter Appeal after Citizens Advice experts warn that more people than ever could find themselves behind in paying for bills. The appeal, run in partnership with Citizens Advice in Dorset, distributes £200 grants to pensioners and vulnerable people aged 50 and over living in fuel poverty, who often can only afford to heat one room for a few hours a day and routinely skip meals to save money for their fuel bills. Citizens Advice Project Manager Ross Dingham has been involved with the appeal since it first launched in 2010 and said although energy prices have fallen slightly since last year, they are still significantly higher than 2 years ago, and the government's energy bill support scheme, which gave households £400 off their bills, ended in March. Ross also said things have gone up hugely, and although the energy prices are coming down, you'll still have to stand-in charges, and that can make a difference, she said. It's nearly £300 per year for someone who's got gas and electric. So before you even start to use any fuel, you've got your standing charge, and I think that's made a big difference. Dorset Community Foundation Chief Executive Grant Robson said the appeal, which last year raised over £100,000 and helped 506 people, is just as badly needed as ever. He said that although fewer people might feel they are not in a position to give due to the economic situation, they hope that people will still be generous, because cold homes and poor diets can be killers. In fact, over the last 5 years, an average of 590 people a year have passed away from cold-related illnesses during the winter, according to Mr. Robson. Now, you can donate to the Surviving Winter Appeal at www.dorsetcommunityfoundation.enthuse.com/donate. So that's www.dorsetcommunityfoundation.enthuse.com/donate. You can send a cheque made payable to Dorset Community Foundation to the Surviving Winter Appeal, Dorset Community Foundation, The Spire, High Street Pool, BH15 1DF. And if you want to find out more about applying for help, you can call Citizens Advice on 01929 775500. That's 01929 775500. And of course, you can go online and search for Surviving Winter Dorset, and you will find that information as well. Certainly if you put in Citizens Advice as well. Now, Weldmar Hospice Care will once again be holding their special Light Up a Life services across Dorset, where you can dedicate a light for a loved one on their special trees to remember those who will be missed this Christmas. Anyone can dedicate a light to a loved one, whether they were cared for by Weldmar or not. Services of remembrance will also be held at each of the trees in early December, featuring traditional hymns, readings, switching on of the lights, and a time for reflection. Light Up a Life services will take place in Blandford, Bridport, Wareham, Dorchester, Sherborne, Gillingham, Weymouth and Lyme Regis. So there should be one fairly close to you wherever you are across Dorset. For anyone unable to attend in person, there will also be an online service broadcast on Weldmar's Facebook and YouTube channels, which will be available to watch until after Christmas. Gloria McCartney, who's the fundraising lead at Weldmar, says the Light Up a Life services are always a special time of the year for us all at Weldmar Hospice Care, and I know they're important to our communities too, allowing people to come together to pause, reflect and remember loved ones that they have lost. We know that Christmas can be a particularly challenging and sad time when grieving for a loved one. Dedicating a light also means that Weldmar can continue to provide specialist care for people living with a life-limiting illness in Dorset and supporting their loved ones too. Now, if you get involved, you will receive a special Light Up a Life pack, including a wooden star to hang on your local Light Up a Life tree or your own Christmas tree at home, a handwritten card from Weldmar and a copy of the order of service. You can find out more about the Light Up a Life services and dedicate a light online at weldmarhospicecare.org/light up a life. So nice and easy to remember, weldmarhospicecare.org/light up a life. Now, Tumbledown in Weymouth, run by Weymouth Town Council, is a picturesque community asset, and it is celebrating after receiving 2 grants totalling £100,000 between the 2 grants. The money will be used for building a classroom, accessible toilets and a teaching kitchen on the site. Once built, these new facilities will directly benefit people from accessing opportunities at the former derelict farm in Radipole. A grant of £85,000 was secured from Nuclear Restoration Services, who provide funding for certain community projects, along with a second grant of £15,000 from Dorset Council's Capital Leverage Fund, which supports improving facilities for local communities and residents. Councillor Ryan Hope, who's the Chair of the Environment and Services Committee at Weymouth Town Council, said, "I'm thrilled for everyone who is part of Tumbledown and for those who will directly benefit from accessing opportunities at the former farm. The funding will allow Weymouth Town Council to offer a wider range of activities and learning experiences and provide a more comfortable environment for people who come along to this inspiring and nurturing place. As well as benefiting people, it will benefit the planet, as the building will include solar panels, rainwater capture and high levels of insulation to make it as sustainable as possible. Weymouth Town Council will complete a detailed design of the groundworks and the building with partners over the winter, with the aim of starting work on construction of the building in spring and summer of next year before welcoming people through the doors for the first time." Now, Tumbledown is an inclusive green space where people come together to connect with nature and benefit from community-led growing, learning and well-being opportunities. It's already well used by partner organisations including the Lantern Trust and the Bus Shelter Project, Dorset Mind, Dorset Care, Darwin Care and Munsteads, local churches and Transition Town Weymouth, Weymouth College and Westfield School. So there we go, lots of people will benefit from that work at Tumbledown. Now, a new scheme means that victims of domestic abuse can discreetly signal for help from the safety of a pharmacy which is participating in the Ask for Annie scheme. Annie stands for Action Needed Immediately, and participating pharmacies will have the sign or something looking very similar to that is on the screen now. Victims use the code word Annie in participating pharmacies, including all Boots stores and some independent pharmacies in Dorset, to let staff know that they require an emergency police response or help with contacting a helpline or specialist support services. Pharmacies which are taking part display posters with a distinctive hand symbol to let customers know that they can approach their staff to seek help. When a victim uses the code word or asks for help, the member of staff will ask the victim to accompany them to the consultation room. They will then check whether the victim is in danger and wants the police to be called. If so, the staff member will offer the use of a phone or dial 999 and make a call on behalf of the victim. If the victim is not in an emergency situation, the staff member will support the victim to contact a National Domestic Abuse Helpline or local support services. They may also contact the police via 101. Now, you can find out which pharmacies in your area are participating in Ask for Annie and more about the service on the Dorset Police website. And there you will also find details of how pharmacies can sign up for Ask for Annie if you are a pharmacy. Now, I did take a look earlier and I can see that all of the Boots pharmacies across Weymouth and Portland and South Dorset are on there, including the one in Wyke and the one in the town centre. So you can certainly rely on Boots pharmacies as well as other independents that will be signing up to the scheme. Now, the scheme was developed by the Home Office with the help of partners including the domestic abuse sector, pharmacy associations and the police. Now, Dorset County Hospitals Charity has recently received further support for its emergency and critical care appeal. And this has come from the Catterstock Open Gardens team, and you can see the Catterstock Open Gardens team there on the screen. The event held in June this year was the first community fundraiser to support the new appeal, which is raising funds to enhance the new emergency department and critical care unit shortly to commence construction on the hospital's Dorchester site. Now, Gillian Wallace, who's chair of Catterstock Open Gardens, said, "We decided to donate 50% of the proceeds of our event on the 10th and 11th of June to the Emergency and Critical Care Appeal. We are only too aware of how all healthcare continues to face huge challenges in the wake of the pandemic and economic challenges, and we'd like to do our bit to help." The event raised £1,400 for the appeal, which was officially launched at the Dorset County Show. In addition to the income from ticket sales and teas, the organisers ran a grand raffle and plant sale, which added to the total raised. Now, if you want to find out more about Dorset County Hospital's charity's Emergency and Critical Care Appeal, you can go to www.dchcharity.org.uk. That's www.dchcharity.org.uk, or you can email charity@dchft.nhs.uk, charity@dchft.nhs.uk. Now, a rural crime survey has shown that fly tipping was the crime most likely to have affected rural residents in the southwest in the past 12 months. Fly tipping and littering covers a range of items that people might discard in a public place, from large appliances like fridges to drugs-related paraphernalia like needles and syringes. Fly tipping and littering can be a health hazard, not to mention an eyesore. Local authorities are responsible for investigating, clearing and taking appropriate enforcement action in relation to fly tipping. The same survey also found that 59% of rural residents had experienced no crime. The survey was launched in June by Dorset Police and Crime Commissioner David Siddick and his counterparts in Devon and Cornwall, Avon and Somerset, Gloucestershire and Wiltshire. The group wanted to better understand how each of their rural communities are affected by crime. The survey asked rural residents if they have been the victim of any crimes in the past 12 months, as well as asking them what rural crime concerns them the most. Results showed that the theft of agricultural machinery was the crime that concerned respondents the most, and found more than 50% of respondents did not report crimes they were the victim of to the police. The 5 PCCs, or Police and Crime Commissioners, have also previously worked together to successfully lobby the government for tough sanctions against those who fly tip, and recently announced the launch of Operation Ragwort, a joint cross-border operation targeting organised crime groups involved in rural crime. Now, sticking with policing, detectives from Dorset Police are appealing for anyone with information to come forward as they investigate an incident where a man was found with serious injuries near Dorchester. Dorset Police received a report at 6:28 a.m. on Sunday the 29th of October that a man had been found with injuries by the side of West Stafford bypass near Dorchester, just south of West Stafford between the A352 and Highgate Lane. The officer investigating the incident has said, "I would appeal to anyone who witnessed anyone by the roadside in the area of Dorchester and the West Stafford bypass during the early hours of the 29th of October, or anyone who witnessed any suspicious activity in the vicinity to please contact us. I'd also ask any motorists with dashcam who were driving in the area to please review their footage to see if they have captured anything of relevance." And staying with Dorset Police, officers are also continuing to investigate an incident where a man allegedly committed criminal damage and exhibited threatening behaviour in Weymouth, and are releasing new CCTV image of a man they wish to speak to. Now, we did release some images last week, but this is a new and much clearer CCTV image that Dorset Police are asking us to look at. Dorset Police received a report on Monday the 2nd of October at around 1:15 p.m. of a man causing damage to a bus shelter outside the Rendezvous Bar and Nightclub in St Edmund Street in Weymouth. When challenged by a member of the public, it is reported that the man made threatening remarks of violence towards the person. Now, anyone with information on that incident by the roadside at West Stafford, or somebody who recognises this gentleman in the CCTV image, are asked to contact Dorset Police by calling 101, or if they wish to give information anonymously, they can do this via the Crime Stoppers charity on 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, Dorset Council are asking the people of Dorset, could you offer a stepping stone to a young person leaving care? Supported lodgings can help young people who are leaving our care, says Dorset Council, and help them experience the transition to adulthood in a safe and secure environment, whilst learning emotional and practical skills that will help them thrive. Dorset Council want to end the cliff edge of care that can happen when young people turn 18 years old. And to do this, they need more people to open their homes and become supported lodgings carers. Supported lodgings is often able to be combined with a career or busy lifestyle, as you do not need to provide full-time care. Sharon Cooper, aged 56, lives in Wimborne and is a Dorset Council supported lodgings provider who also runs her own business. Over the last 10 years, Sharon has looked after around 10 young people between the ages of 16 to 25. And Sharon tells us, "I enjoy helping the young people achieve their goals or aims in life, no matter how big or small, and watching them grow and develop as people. When you provide supported lodgings, you have a fantastic support network around you, including help from Dorset Council's fostering service and other supported lodgings providers." Now, supported lodgings is usually for young people aged 16 to 25 who need a small level of support to help them experience the transition to adulthood in a supportive home environment. Now, all Dorset Council supported lodgings carers receive training and support and are paid an allowance to assist with their day-to-day living costs. To find out more, you can visit the Dorset Council website and look for supported lodgings, or you can email fostering inquiries, that's fostering inquiries, at dorsetcouncil.gov.uk. Now, Weymouth College is looking to expand its workshop space and is asking for permission to build a single-storey extension at its Cranford Avenue site. The building will be of red brick construction with dark grey window frames to match existing buildings. There will be a loss of 9 parking spaces in the college car park when the building is erected at the northern end of the car park behind the existing college sports facility. The new workshop space, which will be around 200 metres square, will be used for teaching modern methods of construction, and it's being built with funding from the Local Skills Improvement Fund. Now, residents are being urged to have their say on services provided by Weymouth Town Council and to help them plan for the future. The council has launched a resident survey to gain feedback on its services. Everyone who completes the short survey will have the chance to be entered into a prize draw with a chance to win one £100 high street shopping voucher. Services run by the council include everything from public toilets, parks, gardens and open spaces to the beach and promenade. Statutory services like housing, education, waste and recycling are all run by Dorset Council and not Weymouth Town Council. The survey results will be used to evaluate satisfaction levels with the services that the Town Council provides so that they can continue to make improvements for the benefit of all residents and tourists. Survey questions covering resident thoughts on customer service, satisfaction levels when contacting the council, to views on how clean and well maintained facilities are, from toilets to parks, gardens and open spaces. The consultation runs through to Friday the 24th of November and is available online. And if you go to the Weymouth Town Council website and search for survey, you will find it. If you need help doing the survey, you can get support to help doing that if you pop into Weymouth Library and at the customer point there, they will be able to help you with that survey. And finally, from Tuesday the 7th of November to Sunday the 10th of December, Durlston Country Park's Fine Foundation Gallery will host an exhibition by photographer, geographer and podcaster Sam Rose that will unwrap the idea of rewilding to answer the question, what if you just leave it? The display will also feature images from West Dorset and Purbeck and will be open daily from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, rewilding is a conservational approach and explores the idea of letting nature look after itself, aiming to let land grow wild in attempts to restore degraded landscapes and ecosystems. Rewilding Unwrapped will look further into this idea, exploring its advantages and disadvantages and why it will work for some areas and not for others. As we say, the exhibition is open daily from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's free to enter. You can find out more about this exhibition is from a specific website, which is www.whatifyoujustleaveit.info. www.whatifyoujustleaveit.info. Now, for more information on this and other exhibitions at Durlston, you can go along to the Durlston website, www.durlston.co.uk, or you can give them a call on 01929 42 4443. 01929 42 4443. There we go, and that's the end of our headlines tonight. Now, you will remember from last year that GWR, or Great Western Railway, hold a remembrance service each year at Paddington, and they call it Poppies to Paddington, and poppy wreaths are gathered from all over the southwest and go to Paddington by train. Now, this year, their Poppies to Paddington, or their GWR remembrance service, will mark 70 years since the end of the Korean War. Great Western Railway will take its support for integrated travel to new heights this year, thanks to the support from a Royal Navy helicopter in its latest Poppies to Paddington operation. You will know that they have covered we have copied Poppies to Paddington before, where wreaths from across the southwest are taken from stations on the GWR network to London. Now, they partner with the Veterans Charity, the Royal Naval Air Station Culdrose, who will deploy a Merlin helicopter to carry poppy wreaths from their base to Plymouth on Monday, ahead of the GWR Remembrance Service on Friday the 10th of November. With planned engineering works preventing trains from running between Penzance and Plymouth, it means the fourth Poppies to Paddington operation will still be able to serve Cornwall thanks to the help of the Royal Navy helicopter. This year, as we said, GWR is remembering 70 years since the end of the Korean War, as it once again carries swathes of poppy wreaths from across the network to London Paddington for the special remembrance service. 6 poppy trains are expected to collect more than 200 wreaths from GWR stations ahead of the service at Paddington's iconic war memorial on Platform 1. And I thought it would be nice to remind ourselves about last year's Poppies to Paddington.
Welcome everybody to this service of remembrance at Paddington Station. It is good, is it not, to be able once more to gather in person for this act of remembrance. At the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the guns fell silent on the Western Front to bring to an end the First World War.
There we go, that's last year's Poppies to Paddington from Great Western Railway, and hopefully they will produce a video of this year's that we can share with you, maybe not next week, so they probably won't have it out by then, but maybe the week after, if we keep our fingers crossed. Now, turning to something on the wilder side, Dorset Wildlife Trust has launched a public fundraising appeal to raise £40,000 for its woodland recovery project, an urgent initiative aimed at restoring and regenerating woodlands across Dorset. Woodlands play a critical role in supporting biodiversity, offering refuge to thousands of species and a natural solution to the climate crisis through storing carbon and their potential to limit flooding. But diseases such as ash dieback, development pressures and the effects of climate change have all diminished and divided woodlands. In turn, many wildlife species which depend on woodland habitats for their food and shelter are at risk. The Woodland Recovery Project is a comprehensive effort to combat the challenges facing Dorset's woodlands through a combination of finding ways to reduce the impact of ash dieback on wildlife and regenerating woodland habitats through traditional management techniques such as coppicing. And we're now going to hear from Dorset Wildlife Trust about their Woodland Recovery Project.
Woodlands are wonderful places for wildlife and people. Stand beside an ancient tree and you might feel humbled by its size and age. You might remember childhood hours spent climbing and playing when the tree seemed as tall as skyscrapers. You might wonder at the history it's witnessed. But you might feel fear too. Ash dieback is striking down vast numbers of trees, while ever-increasing human development and climate change also threaten Dorset's woodlands. And it's not just the trees at risk. Thousands of wildlife species in your local woodland won't have a home if we allow them to become diminished and derelict. That's why this autumn we need your support to secure a bigger, brighter future for Dorset's woodlands.
There we go, that's the Woodland Recovery Appeal from Dorset Wildlife Trust. And to read more about that and to make a donation, you can go to the Dorset Wildlife Trust website at www.dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk, www.dorsetwildlifetrust.org.uk. It's now that time in the programme where we go over to our regular contributor Andrew Wright for this week's film review and preview.
Welcome to White Regis TV Film Review and Preview. I'm Andrew Wright. This week, the world awoke to the sad news that sitcom actor Matthew Perry passed away at the age of 54. The actor, who also became famous for his charity work regarding sobriety, rose to international stardom in the 90s due to his role as Chandler Bing on the American sitcom Friends, which ran for 10 seasons, and he revisited the series alongside the rest of the cast in the 2021 reunion special. He also famously starred in the film The Whole Nine Yards alongside retired actor Bruce Willis, and within the last 10 years he created and starred in a TV reboot of The Odd Couple, which ran for 3 seasons. That's Matthew Perry, dead at 54. This week, Disney Plus announced that Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will start streaming on December 15th. Dial of Destiny is the final film in the Indiana Jones film series and stars Harrison Ford as the aging Indy as he teams up with his goddaughter to find an ancient amulet that is capable of time travel. The film experienced mixed reviews from critics and audiences and was a bomb at the box office, losing Disney $100 million. The film is out on home video this December ahead of its Disney Plus debut, so I'll be reviewing it in December, most likely on its Blu-ray release instead of the Disney Plus one, because that is currently scheduled to take place before the Disney Plus release, so stay tuned for that. This week, Disney's Haunted Mansion was released on home video. The film is based on the Disneyland ride of the same name and stars Lakeith Stanfield as an astrophysicist turned tour guide who becomes part of a team of exorcists hired to clear a widow's mansion of ghosts. The film was met with mixed to negative reviews from critics and was a flop at the box office. Unfortunately, due to scheduling conflicts this week, I was unable to review it in time for this week's segment, but when I do watch it, you'll be able to find my review on my Letterboxd profile, which you can find via my X, formerly Twitter, account, which is connected to White Regis' social media. That's all I have for this week, but be sure to check back next week where I will review Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now back to Gary in the studio.
Thank you very much there, Andrew, and I certainly will be looking forward to the Indiana Jones. It's one of my favourites, so I hope it's not a disappointment for me. I take on board what Andrew said, but I'm hoping that I'll be happy with it, and that'll be something I'll be watching around the Christmas period if I get some time. Right, it's time in the programme for the National Weather Forecast from the Met Office, and this week we are joined by Jonathan Vaultry.
Hello there. Has been a bit of a mixed start to this weekend, certainly for southern areas, quite a wet one. If we have a look at the earlier radar sequence, a band of heavy rain been pushing its way in from the southwest. This is falling over saturated ground, so it does have the potential to cause some localised flooding issues throughout the day. Turning lighter though as it pushes its way northwards, but stalling across central northern England, northern Wales, will turn into quite a cloudy, damp, wet day here, unfortunately. Further showers pushing into the south, could be heavy at times, quite gusty around these as well. Some of the driest conditions though for Scotland, Northern Ireland, a few sunny spells poking through the cloud. Still a few coastal showers to watch out for, but here temperatures around 10 or 11 degrees Celsius. If you're stuck underneath a persistent cloud though across those central areas, it is going to be feeling rather cold, 8 to 9 degrees Celsius at best. Double-digit figures further towards the south, but if you are caught out in some of those coastal gusts, then we'll be turning a touch fresher. For those of you that are heading out this evening for fireworks celebrations, really some of the best conditions will be for Scotland and Northern Ireland. Largely dry for most. Again, just a few coastal showers to watch out for, but temperatures just dropping away a touch underneath some of the clearer spells that are around. An umbrella probably needed across northern England, northern Wales, with further outbreaks of rain at times. Perhaps this slice from southwest England through to East Anglia where we'll see some drier conditions, but further heavy showers for southeastern areas of England. Again, some thunderstorms are possible. Those will slowly drift their way off further eastwards as we head throughout the night, but relatively cloudy and murky across a good chunk of England. The clearest spells for Scotland, Northern Ireland, so a few fog patches forming, but temperatures also dropping off here the most, perhaps down into low single figures or maybe even a touch of frost in some of the rural spots. Temperatures just holding up a touch more underneath the cloud across England. This cloud, though, will provide a relatively murky start in places, certainly some hill fog, and it will take a little bit of time for that eventually to all clear its way off into the North Sea. Again, some of the fog across parts of Scotland, Northern Ireland could be a bit slow to clear off. Into the afternoon though, a bit of a west-east split in our weather. The showers feeding their way in from the west, again could be heavy at times, some thunderstorms, maybe even hail in the mixture, but further towards the east, the drier and sunnier spots. Temperatures generally ranging between 11 and 14 degrees Celsius for most of us, but again just holding on to some quite brisk winds around coastal areas in the south, which will again just make it feel that bit fresher. For bonfire night itself then, we continue this west-east split theme. So eastern areas quite nice and dry for many of us, should provide some nice conditions for firework viewing. Just got to cater for some showers really persisting across western districts. Again, they could be quite heavy still into the evening at times as well. Do keep up to date with the forecast and everything that is heading our way throughout the rest of this weekend and of course the new working week. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get all the latest updates, and we'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.
Thank you much, Jonathan, for that. We'll look at our local weather for the week ahead. And here we go. Oh, not much different than it has been lately, although we do look to have a dry day on Tuesday. So Tuesday's the day to go out if you want some fresh air and stay in the dry, but it looks like it's going to be sunny spells, cloudy spells and rain, and still quite mild though for this time of year. Temperatures in the middle teens there, not much change, more the same I think for the week ahead. Make sure you take a brolly or a coat with you if you're going out, I think is the message this week. Now, turning to our What's On. Weymouth Pavilion, first of all. 10th of November, Disco Inferno. 15th of November to the 18th of November, Wow presents Oliver, always very popular. 19th to the 22nd of November, Project Play presents a Vicar of Dibley Christmas. Now, if you've never been to see a Project Play before, I highly recommend it. They are really, really good and really, really funny. I do recommend that if you're looking for something to go out and you like Vicar of Dibley, you will enjoy that on the 19th to the 22nd of November. 23rd of November, the Illegal Eagles. 26th of November, Rhythm of the Dance, that's sort of Irish dancing, a bit sort of river dancey. 28th of November, Classical Ballet and Opera House present Giselle, and on the 29th of November they present The Nutcracker. So if you like something a bit more classical, you have Giselle on the 28th and The Nutcracker on the 29th of November. As ever, more details on those and lots more things happening at Weymouth Pavilion. That is just a snapshot over the next few weeks. Pop to their website, weymouthpavilion.com, where you can buy tickets online, or give the box office a call on 01305 783 225. Turning to the Knowth Fort, they have got a Cold War Experience Day on the 19th of November from 11 o'clock to 3 in the afternoon, and I expect that will include their Cold War bunker tours, which are very, very popular. They've got the first of their elf hunts on the weekend of the 25th and 26th of November, and that happens on further weekends up until Christmas. And the Knowth Artillery are demonstrating what they do on the 26th of November. More information on those and other things at the Knowth Fort, www.knowthfort.org.uk. Arts Reach. A full programme is now published, and I found my Arts Reach programme. I've got it here, and if you go to their website, they will send you a full programme as well, and I'll give you the website in a while. But coming up at our end of Dorset, and again, there are things going on all across Dorset in all of the villages. A massive programme from Arts Reach, and if you like something a bit different or a bit special, then do look at their website. But just a few tasters. 9th of November. Little Murmur at Broadmain Village Hall. 16th of November, the Budapest Cafe Orchestra at the Mowlem at Swanage. 29th of November, King Lear at Powerstock Hut. 2nd of December, folk music from Flanders at Royal Manor Theatre on Portland. And 8th of December, the Merry Adventures of Robin Hood at West Stafford Village Hall. The Arts Reach website, where you can see their very extensive and full programme and buy tickets, is www.artsreach.co.uk. Now, a couple more of interesting events that I found out about today. There's going to be this event. It says the audience will be introduced to a wide selection of Portland characters. and hidden places at an up-and-coming talk. And there certainly are some characters on Portland and in White Regis as well. Now, the fourth talk of the Friends of Weymouth Museum's 2023 autumn programme takes place this Monday on November the 6th from 2 p.m. to 3:30. It will be held at the Hope United Reformed Church, 8 Trinity Street, Weymouth. Jeff Kirby will be talking about the extraordinary life of Mary Stopes, the family planning, Mary Stopes I think it is, the family planning pioneer who lived at the Upper Lighthouse and who scandalised the prim and proper Methodist Portlanders with a raunchy lifestyle. Other characters include Jack Knapp, who managed to be banned from every pub on Portland along with his pet dog and goose. Dodger Cutting with his pampered cow, and Dickie Hoskins with his fake pets cemetery. Portland's hidden buildings, including overgrown Victorian gun batteries, a vast and very secret underground bunker, Penn's Bath, carved 2 centuries ago out of solid rock, hidden in a wood, and much, much more. Now, Jeff moved and lived and worked in Weymouth 60 years ago and has had a long-held fascination with both the histories of Portland and Weymouth. In fact, you can often see him posting about them online. Tea and biscuits will be served from 2 p.m. and the talk will begin at 2:30. Tickets are available on the door. £2 for members of Friends of the Museum and £3 for visitors. And if you go with the exact money, it would be appreciated. Now, another talk for you. Hear the story of the lives of 2 men who fought in the First World War. Find out about these 2 courageous individuals at the November meeting of the South Dorset group of the Somerset and Dorset Family History Society. It will take place on Friday, November the 17th at St Aldham's Church Centre, Spa Road, Radipole at 2:30. Again, preceded by tea and coffee, and it will be presented by Keith Tilley. Keith Tilley's talk will be called Remember, telling the story of the lives of 2 men who were both involved in the Great War. Both survived, won medals, but had different wars. The presentation has many photographs, illustrations, some in the trenches, and diary extracts as well. And this will be £2 for members and £3 for non-members. And if you want any information, you could give John a call on 01305 7760 08. 01305 776008. Now, turning to church services. Church services tomorrow are an 8 a.m. said communion service at All Saints Church. 9:30 is the monthly family-friendly relaxed cafe church with breakfast at All Saints Church. And 11 o'clock is a communion service at St Edmund's Church. And just before we finish tonight, and I mentioned about our quiz, you may have wondered where Clive Gray, our gardening expert, is, who has been doing some weekly gardening programmes. Unfortunately, Clive has had to take a break for family reasons for the time being. And I'd just like to wish Clive and Julie all our best wishes at this time. And, we are missing you and thinking about you at this time. And finally, our other programme tonight is our quiz, which will be at 7:30. The feed will go live about 7:20, so do come and join us. It's free, it's family friendly, it's for the whole community. Anybody is welcome. That will be on all of our feeds from 7:30 tonight. You will all be welcome. Now, if you have got any news, events or any information for us this coming week, for our programme next week or the programmes beyond, then do drop us a line. We're always pleased to hear from you. news@whiteregis.tv, news@whiteregis.tv. We would love to hear from you. That's all I have for you tonight. Those of you that are joining me for the quiz, I look forward to being with you again in around half an hour to 3/4 of an hour's time. If not, I will be back here at 6 o'clock next Saturday for next week's Saturday evening news programme. Have a good weekend and good week ahead, and I'll see you then. Good night.